Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your FSU Weather Edition this Wednesday. I am student meteorologist Michael Annan. Let's take a look at our local temperatures in the Big Bend region. You can see 86 right now in Tallahassee. A little bit rain-cooled. We did have a shower on the south side of town a few hours ago. 93 in Bainbridge. They haven't gotten a thunderstorm yet today, so they're the hot spot in our region right now. You can see we have a scattering of these showers and thunderstorms. Some of them do have lightning with them just north of Panama City and one in Liberty County. These will fizzle as we head into the nighttime hours as we lose the daytime heating. Tonight, a very muggy 74 degrees with a 30% chance of rain. The higher rain chances will be confined to the coast, less inland, but those will die down as we head into these after sunset. For your headlines for today, we do have the scattered rains and storms due to a frontal system nearby that is stalled out right now. And we will return to our typical July sea breeze pattern by this time next week. Now let's send off to Dylan with the first local forecast.
Yeah, we want to compare today to other days that we've experienced around the region, and looking at our actual temperature, we're seeing about average for this time of year, so nothing too obscure for the time. And when we look at our rainfall as well, we haven't seen any measurable rain today at the airport, but that can change as we go into tonight. Showers are still possible, and we are below average for the month on the normal, and same for the year. We finally dropped down. We've been above average, or about average for normal. We finally dropped a little below, but nothing too out of the ordinary. As you look around the temperatures, you see the rain-cooled areas, these temperatures dipping down 84 in Apalachicola. That's where they've seen some rain. Bainbridge, though, they haven't seen as much rain, only dropping down to 93, seeing these lighter orange colors indicating where that rain is and where that rain's moving out of. As we look at our dew points, though, one thing that's not changing is our dew point temperature. A lot of moisture still throughout the region, into the mid-70s throughout the entirety of the region. As when we combine this, the temperature and the dew point, we're looking at the dew heat index, which is very, very high, 101 degrees in Bainbridge, 97 degrees in Tallahassee. Thing to keep in mind is hydrating. With these temperatures into the hundreds, you're going to be sweating a lot, and you want to replenish your liquids just to make sure you're hydrated and don't pass out. Want to make sure you're safe at home, so definitely something to be aware of. As we look at these showers, you do see a lot of the showers over towards Bristol right now, missing most of Tallahassee. We did have some few sprinkles earlier today, about 3:30. And as we look, we do see a nice shower over north of Caribou for right now. As we go into tonight, though, these showers coming off the coast are going to start to dissipate. Most of our winds are bringing that moisture into our area, keeping it much the same, but we'll see a change up later on in the week with that frontal system Michael mentioned. And as we look at our futurecast radar, showers mostly die down as we go into tonight, but there's still a possibility, 30% chance of rain throughout the entirety of the region. And these showers are much slower moving than we're used to, so they're not short-lived showers that we've seen the last couple of days, but they have the potential to stick around for just a little bit, rain a little harder. And as we get into tomorrow, rain showers come back in full force. Just another rainy day expecting as we go into tonight. Cooler temperatures back to the mid-70s like our dew points, and we're going to see those rain showers possible. See dew in the early parts of the morning, but cloud cover and rain showers are going to stick around through tonight. And then into tomorrow, it's more of the same. About average on our temperatures, just a little below. 87 degrees is the forecasted high for here in Tallahassee. And throughout much of the region, seeing rain sticking around. And as we look at our 7-day forecast, you're going to start off with a lot of rain. That front lifting a lot of showers into our area, seeing above normal precipitation chances at 70%. And you're going to see those showers stick around through Thursday and Friday. But then as that front moves out, drier air comes back into our area. And we see those rain chances move out, but our temperature starts to increase. So it goes from a muggy heat to a heaty heat, as you would say. Let's send it over to Jake now.
All right, thanks a lot, Dylan. The Southeast really paints quite the interesting picture here. We around the Tallahassee area, a bit closer to home, we're seeing more of what we're seeing immediately here around town, with a lot of rainfall being the big story. But as we look off to the west in parts of Louisiana and especially in Texas, that excessive heat really is the big story, with current temperatures as of about 6 o'clock being as high as 106 degrees in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area, so a big concern there. Although it is a little bit drier, so therefore that heat index value is not too far removed from the air temperature. Still feeling like 109 degrees out there, so that doesn't really change the message at all. Really avoid any kind of excessive strenuous outdoor activity and stay hydrated if you do have to be outside for an extended period of time. Off to the east, a little bit more humidity is the big picture for us. So you're seeing where the rain is not falling, these heat index values still trying to reach the 100-degree mark in some spots. Southerlies and westerly flow in our immediate area are really the dominant trend here across much of the southeast. We're currently sitting with about 17 mile per hour, pretty breezy conditions out of the southeast in Brownsville down to the southern end of Texas. And you can also really see this well-defined frontal boundary right here across central Georgia and Alabama. This front is the one that's going to be stalling out here over the next 24 hours and keeping those rainfall chances high for us here in Tallahassee, as well as a big swath of the southeast, at least the tri-state region and most of Florida. The dew points are really showing that increased humidity that we've been seeing in much of the region. 77-degree dew point in New Orleans, 74 in Jackson. And again, we have that big dome of high pressure, not quite as much to speak of in terms of humidity, although it still is a bit muggy in areas like Dallas and San Antonio, where those air temperatures are getting to the 100-degree point and even higher in some spots. Satellite and radar, not much rain to speak of in Texas, but as we move further east, you really see the influence of that frontal boundary. Southerly winds converging right here at the frontal boundary and basically acting as a lifting mechanism for these showers and storms to really flare up. The biggest coverage right now being across much of Mississippi as of now. For the next 24 hours, should start to see that activity fading away just a little bit, though we could still see some showers lasting well past sunset in some areas. Into tomorrow morning, most of the showers are going to be off of the Gulf Coast, and then through the day tomorrow, we're going to see more widespread shower and storm coverage a little bit more to the east, Georgia really being one of the hot spots, as well as right here in Tallahassee to see some big-time rainfall potential. For tonight, 80s in parts of Texas, otherwise 70s across much of the southeast, with the storms lingering around, especially in the early evening hours, and tomorrow, pretty much no change in the forecast, especially seeing those 100-degree temperatures still sticking around in Texas. Now to Michael for the National.
Thanks, Jacob. Pretty typical summertime pattern down towards the southeast. But as we look towards the temperatures in the nation right now, you can see much more comfortable, much more drier, and much more fresher air in the northern tier of the country, with the Midwest and the Northeast experiencing 70 and 80-degree weather, 77 in Chicago, 78 in Detroit. Down towards the south, you still have that heat and humidity, and then we also have the dome of high pressure causing a lot of very hot temperatures in Dallas, Fourth Ward at 106 degrees right now. Dew points, again, the 80s feel much more comfortable in the northern tier of the country, especially in the Midwest and Northeast, because of these lower dew points. That front moved through yesterday. It brought a big squall line in a lot of the Northeast Metroplex, but you're experiencing the benefits of that cold front today with lower dew points. Down towards the south, we do have those higher dew points, especially ahead of that stalled out boundary basically now, at 70 in Atlanta, 77 in Tallahassee. And then as we go out towards the west, you can see drier air with the higher elevations as well, 36 in Salt Lake City and 41 in Denver. Now, with those lower dew points, it doesn't feel as oppressive up towards the north because of it feels much more comfortable outside. However, down towards the southeast, you had those higher dew points. So as a result, you had the higher heat indexes, 97 in Atlanta. Now, Dallas, 109 because your air temperature is well into the hundreds. So that's why it feels very hot out there. You can see where that boundary is right now, this cold front, which is basically now stalled out. It's not going to move much over these next few days. So a lot of the shower activity is going to be south of this boundary. And then we also have a low pressure system up towards the northern plains causing some severe weather. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch up in South Dakota and Nebraska. Let's zoom into that right now. You can see we do have some pretty intense thunderstorms, a severe thunderstorm warning just south of Rapid City. And we also have a flash flood warning right in the southeast part of South Dakota. These will, this is actually a tornado watch, actually, not a severe thunderstorm watch. So we do expect some severe weather into the overnight hours in this region. Now down towards the southeast, we do have the stalled out boundary. You can see the fine line between shower activity and drier air. That's where that boundary actually is. Have a lot of the shower activity south of about Macon and see down towards Tallahassee. You do have the shower activity. We do have the heat out towards the Dallas Metroplex region. And then as we go into tomorrow's forecast, not much of a pattern change yet. 84 in Chicago, 83 in Detroit, and 105 in Dallas. Now let's send it off to Dylan with Florida.
Thank you very much, Michael. And looking around Florida, it's actually much cooler down in South Florida. So you South Floridians might want to call your parents to compare the temperature here to down there. 86 degrees here in Tallahassee, and down in South Florida, they've definitely cooled off with 74 in West Palm Beach and 79 down in Miami, but they've seen more rain than we have here. So it's not really a better situation, but definitely a different one. Thing we're not lacking in is dew point temperature. It's moist throughout the entirety of the state, all green all the way. And as we look down in South Florida, we did see some strong thunderstorms on I-95 in northern part of West Palm Beach County. And we do have some nice storms over Lake Okeechobee generating to the water you're actually drinking. So pretty good for us. And as we move farther north in the state, we did see this impressive line of showers move east of Daytona Beach, but have fizzled out as they've gone into the Atlantic. Not a lot of fuel to keep them going. The daytime heating is not really in effect over the ocean. As we look at our satellite radar, though, over in Panama City, they are seeing some nice showers move through the area, but they've started to fizzle out. East of East Point, ironically, we do have a nice oppressive cell right now, but those are moving off the shore. Showers going from the northern part down to the south, and as we look into the next couple, or as we look at our drought monitor, staying completely nice and not dry throughout the entirety of the state. We haven't had a drought for the last couple of weeks, so it's very good. This rain definitely helping for us, but we have been seeing lower values here in Tallahassee and some parts of the state. But as we look at our RPM forecast, you do see the showers dissipate as we go into the night. Higher rain chances in the northern part of the state over in the Panhandle region. As we go into tonight, you do see some showers still possibly sticking around. As we get into tomorrow, look at those showers come back into our forecast. A lot of showers still coming around with that frontal boundary driving much of the force throughout the state. As we look at tonight, rain showers are possible throughout much of the state. Key West only seeing some clouds down in the 80s, so they're not seeing much of a relief. That's a little warm for this time of year. Pensacola seeing 76 degrees, and as we get into tomorrow, much of the same. Rain showers and heat. For you South Floridians, you're going to see 92 degrees in West Palm Beach and 91 in Miami, so it is actually going to be warmer there tomorrow, but in Tallahassee, it's going to be 87 degrees and mid-80s throughout much of the top part of the state. And through the central part of the state, breaking the 90s a little bit. But now let's look at Jake to zoom back into our local area.
Thank you, Dylan. We're going to take things home here. Last look at what's going on around Tallahassee. Currently at 86 degrees here. We're just about 6:15 in the capital city. Cloudy skies. Still seeing a couple of scattered showers in the area, but not quite that much rain coverage, and it's dissipated a little bit from what we saw earlier on. However, it's feeling like 97 degrees out there. That south-southwesterly wind really been the story all week, funneling in moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico and making things feel really muggy down at the surface and really throughout the entirety of the lower atmosphere here. The local temperatures, you can see where the rain has fallen, and most importantly where the rain has not fallen in areas like Bainbridge at 93 degrees. That's the one that really sticks out like a sore thumb. A little bit cooler down in Apalachicola at 84 degrees and 86 up in Thomasville. Again, we've been seeing some scattered showers across much of the area through the afternoon hours here. The humidity is really sticking around here, so that's why you see that dew point at 77 degrees in Tallahassee, 75 in Thomasville, as well as 74 in Valdosta. The entire tri-state area and really much of the southeast getting in on some of this these muggy conditions. And throw those two together and you get the heat index, what it feels like out there if you're walking outside. Feeling like 97 degrees still as we're past 6 o'clock here in Tallahassee, as we've already alluded to. And with that warmer temperature in Bainbridge, where they've avoided some of the rain, still feeling of 101 degrees out there. So avoid excessive outdoor activities if possible, and of course stay hydrated. Pretty much our standard practice summertime message for you guys here. The satellite and radar, if we look right now, we're seeing some storms lining up both north and south of I-10, but I-10 essentially splitting the uprights in terms of the rainfall. Some embedded lightning with some of these storms off to our west, but for the most part they're drifting off to the south slowly, so we shouldn't be looking at too much of a rainfall threat over the next hour or two. Still could look out for the potential of an isolated shower or two for the rest of the early evening hours here tonight. But that will start to wind down as this future radar shows as we get to about 10 o'clock here. Still could see some lingering showers off where there's a little bit more moisture to the west of Tallahassee. End of the day tomorrow, a lot of the shower and thunderstorm activity is going to be concentrated over the Gulf of Mexico. This is a trend that we've really seen the last couple of days here around town, but we could see a couple of showers flaring up in the morning inland as well and posing a bit more of a threat here. We could be looking at some more widespread rainfall coverage tomorrow compared to what we've had earlier on this week, as that frontal system up to our north really starts to stall out over parts of central and southern Georgia and has a big influence on our weather here in Tallahassee. As for tonight, mid-70s throughout much of the region. St. Mark's being the warm spot at 77 degrees down by the water. Could be looking at the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm early in the evening, but not really too much of a threat in the overnight hours. As for tomorrow, 87 degrees for your afternoon high in Tallahassee, with the threat of some scattered to numerous thunderstorms in the afternoon. And again, we'll see that threat increasing as we go later on in the day. Temperatures getting up into the upper 80s. Could feel like as much as 100 degrees out there. For the next 7 days, things will be looking a little bit better, with those temperatures rebounding into the low to mid 90s, rain chances dropping to about 30%. As always, you can follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out our shows anytime at youtube.com/FSU Weather. We'll see you tomorrow night.